to entice the Socceroos veteran over to the A-League. Now the 5AA forecast, showers easing for a top of 16 today, tomorrow a shower or two and 17, a morning shower or two Saturday, 17 again, mostly sunny Sunday, partly cloudy for the public holiday on Monday with tops of 16. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Peter Godfrey on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
12 degrees at the moment. Time is 6 minutes past 5. Let's take a look at how things are across the ditch in New Zealand. Selwyn Manning joining us from EveningReport.nz. Selwyn, how are you this morning?
Yeah, not too bad, Peter. Temperatures seem a little bit warmer over the side of the ditch compared to you.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button there and changed my headphones.
Sorry. I was talking into the ether, Peter.
Yes, sorry.
That's all good. No, I was just saying that the weather over here seems to be a touch warmer than what you guys are experiencing right at the moment.
Yeah.
We had overnight temperatures of around 17 degrees and we're heading for 20. And the reason for that is there's quite a bit of a storm up here in Auckland that's coming down from the northeast area and pulling some of the warmer weather, the more stickier, humid weather in from the Pacific. So it's an interesting weather thing at the moment, but certainly there's going to be a bit of rain, but not so much of the cold, Peter.
Okay, well, half your luck. It's the last couple of weeks, it felt like winter has hit. And, I'll be glad.
Generally, we've had that too, very much so, and you kind of, people kind of, looking with sympathy, I think, at New Zealand's homeless situation. We touched on that last week, didn't we? And no doubt we'll again.
Indeed. Got a couple of headlines that are making news there early this morning on in your news services?
Yeah, sure. Starting off with New Zealand Herald. Now, we'll be talking about the All Blacks, the rugby, New Zealand's rugby thing, later on in the bulletin. But, New Zealand Herald is leading with that, saying the All Black squad, the All Black coach Hanson's most surprising decision. It goes into that. Also, in more serious news, it kind of looks at student debt. So that's tertiary education, university, etc. Debt, there's 728,000 Kiwis that owe around $15 billion. And there's a big move by the New Zealand government to try and actually get money back, that there are students that are living in Australia and further abroad for them to cough up what they owe, basically. And last week, Peter, just in the backstory to that, there was a Kiwi who came home for a visit and was actually nabbed at the border and taken away.
What?
Apprehended.
Okay. That's serious about getting back.
Very staunch on that, yeah. So that was the New Zealand Herald. Fairfax's Stuff news. We were looking at the All Blacks again. It's getting into rugby fever over the side of the ditch.
I'm surprised anything else is on the news sites as the All Blacks are gearing up to kick off the game.
Yeah, and this is only Thursday, so we've got a couple of days to go yet. But the All Blacks picked 2 rookies. That's where Fairfax is going with that. There's a few other things like body found in hunt for a backpacker, but that's a Brazil story, so they're starting to push, other stories from overseas up the top there. Dad's still at work. Surprisingly enough, there's nothing there relating to Papua New Guinea, like you guys got that very high in your on your news. Radio New Zealand, it's once again All Blacks, old faces in the new look All Black squad. So remember, this is the first tryout for the new All Black team since they won the Rugby World Cup. So, but we'll talk about that later. Motorists distracted by Speedo. That's the Police Minister Judith Collins, some call her Crusher Collins by nickname, and she's saying that our road toll is up because people are speeding more and diverted from the speedos, she reckons, and so they're taking their eye off the actual road. So that's an odd one. That's been hit by Radio New Zealand, saying they've got a few specialists there saying, well, it sounds ridiculous to them. Radio and Television One, Peter, just looking at that, looking through. Yeah, well, they've got a couple of soft stories leading at the moment. They've got something about Ellen DeGeneres, and then there's another thing about some fatal tiger mauling of the zookeeper, and then it's the... So there you go, that's around... Oh, and John Key is heading to Fiji for the first...
Oh, you there, Selwyn? Oh, I think we've just lost Selwyn. We might have to get Selwyn back in the line in a second. Oh, it's Selwyn Manning. Anyway, editor of EveningReport.nz. We'll track him down. Maybe you didn't pay his phone bill. Track him down. We'll get back onto some stories from across the ditch here at 5AA.
5AA breakfast.
You promised us ironclad, you said.
It wasn't ironclad.
Yeah,
Will.
ironclad.
It wasn't ironclad.
You went to Air Supply last night, and what have you delivered?
Well, I haven't delivered an interview with Air Supply.
This is what you delivered.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you.
Yes.
I know you were
That's
right.
what you delivered.
Well, I thought we had made a pact off air. You would never play me singing again.
5AA breakfast. Weekday mornings from 6 on 1395. Adelaide's 5AA.
At CSM Steel, we keep it simple. You walk in and tell us what steel you need. And then you walk out with it. Simple. We'll cut it for you, or bend it, drill it, or weld it. So you can walk out with the piece of steel you need, no matter how big or small. For steel done right. Don't go to those big hardware stores that don't know steel from clay. Come to CSM Steel for your trade or home job. Now at 20 Bennett Avenue, Melrose Park, and at csmsteel.com.au.
After Dad's will was read, we all went about getting on with life. Dad had left a nice amount to all of us, but it didn't really mean much. I mean, it didn't replace him. But bless him, what he did leave helped set us up. And then some guy he used to work with comes in and stakes a claim on everything. He wasn't even named in the will.
Sometimes deceased estates can mean nasty surprises. That's why at Webster's Lawyers we're on your side. And to prove it, our first personal consultation is free. In estate law, we're working with you and for you. websterslawyers.com.au.
How you travelling? It's Caravan Cam with a van trip tip. You know, a big part of having a van or RV is making it your own, putting your own stamp on it. And at Australian Caravan Co, we've got our premier parts and accessories store, All RV, to help you do just that. You can choose in-store to your heart's content or shop online at allrv.com.au and we'll happily deliver. All RV, proudly part of Australian Caravan Co, where we can help you enjoy Australia your way.
Peter Godfrey, talking Adelaide on 1395. 5AA.
All right, now I think Selwyn's dropped another 20 cents into the slot in the phone booth, and we got him back.
Got the gold phone back.
That's it. Now,
We've restored connections between Australia and New Zealand.
We have. We're back in business. Now, I don't know where we got to. We'd only just we're just wrapping up the headlines there.
Yes, we were.
All about the All Blacks by the sound of it.
Pretty much, that's what's dominating there. But we're leading into just talking, Peter, about how the national-led government has really been blundering over the housing situation here in New Zealand for what seems like an age now. But in particular, yesterday, the housing minister, Nick Smith, he stated that homes in Auckland are now more affordable than they were when his party became government in 2008. Now, it sounds on the surface an absolutely outrageous claim, considering that, like we said on your bulletin last week, Peter, Auckland houses are on target to becoming a median of $1 million per piece within the 12-month period, and they're certainly sitting there in the high 800s and into the 900s at the moment. So the claim absolutely caught people by surprise, and it's certainly not the experience of people who are buying into the Auckland market or even trying to, move from their current house and perhaps leveraging up. But anyway, 2 weeks ago, Nick Smith, it's this whole thing of appearance in politics, isn't it, a lot? And I guess you guys with the campaign.
We know all about that.
You know all about that, yeah. And Nick Smith 2 weeks ago, you remember he's the housing minister. The big issue coming up was winter, obviously, and New Zealand's homeless people, people that you would expect not to be homeless, perhaps at this stage in their game, people who are on wages or salary, even not being able to afford to live in Auckland, the city of which they are working in. People living in cars, etc. Now, Smith, the housing minister, was interviewed on television on that 2 weeks ago, and he was standing in front of a nice, warm, roaring, open fire from the glorious live cross to him, and talking about New Zealand's homeless. So the appearance and the kind of the signals that are coming out of the government have been appalling in this way. People are becoming very frustrated. It's the talk of the country, really. Now, this week, the minister, Nick Smith, who I've got to say here, he's certainly fallen out of favour in the past. For example, only a few years ago, he had to resign his cabinet position after assisting one of his friends in her application for accident compensation, a claim that she had. He was the minister and responsible for that particular portfolio at the time. So in tears, he left the house after resigning, standing up with a thing there. So Nick Smith has not avoided controversy, as a lot of them obviously are in the same kind of similar boat after a pretty lengthy period. But he said yesterday, Peter, then this is a quote, in 2008 you had interest rates of around 11% on your mortgages here in New Zealand, and he goes on, now they are 4%, and that's a really strong impact on the capacity of people to be able to afford to service their mortgages, end of quote. Now, he went on there and he started to cite a Massey University report that scored housing affordability by comparing the average weekly earnings with the median dwelling price and the mortgage interest rate. So all this calculation there, and it came up with a score saying that in February 2008, when Nick Smith's opposition, their main opponents, the Labour Party, were in government, funnily enough, was a 38.73 on the score compared to 33.8 in February 2016 when Nick Smith's party is in government, etc., etc. So he's trying to make out that the housing situation is affordable for people, even though perhaps if you look at New Zealand's wages compared to the cost of houses, particularly in Auckland, is way out of kilter. Now, the experience of people on the ground obviously doesn't follow this particular report and document that Nick Smith is standing up from the capital of Wellington and citing as being the saviour of Auckland. But clearly this thing is really not going away. The people up here in Auckland, I've got to say, it's just the talk of the town. It's had an absolute gutful, and it seems like the politicians are just not coming up with the solutions, or at least the government politicians seem out of their space. And it may be a lot of people are saying, Peter, that it's because people like Nick Smith, they come from a small town, they don't understand in some ways the big pressures of the big city, and people are getting very, very intolerant to them playing around with people's lives.
Yeah, indeed. And I guess particularly if people have lived in Auckland all their life, or their family lived in Auckland all their life, they don't really want to move away, do they? Just because they can't afford it.
No, and a lot of people are very upset at the suggestions of gentrification, if you like, to make it an elite place, like when the homeless situation came up, the response from the minister responsible for social housing, a woman called Paula Bennett, her response was to give people $5,000 to get out of town. So, it's that kind of message that's coming from the Nationals over here at the moment, and it seems like they've run out of solutions.
Just stand in front of a roaring open fire doing their press conference. It's not a good look.
Exactly.
Not a good look.
Not a good look.
No.
I don't think Malcolm Turnbull or Mr. Shorten would fall into that one.
Well, not yet.
That was a baited question, Peter.
It was indeed. I don't know how to answer that one. Oh, dear. Yes. We'll have to wait and see. So we'll just take a quick break, and then we'll talk about the big topic that's on the front page everywhere, the All Blacks. Be right back with you. Selwyn Manning with us, editor of EveningReport.nz, 18 after 5.
What makes an iconic South Australian business? It's a special combination, showcased in 5AA's Best of SA. The Fair Price Group is committed to providing you with quality floor and window covering products at a fair price, relying on experience, great service and products that meet this promise. They take the time to walk you through the whole process, so the only surprise is your first impression. With over 10 years in the business, why wouldn't you choose Fair Price? The Best of SA, thanks to Fair Price Group and $13.95, Adelaide's 5AA.
If you're a truckie, your days of paying top dollar for a top mechanic are over. Scania Trucks Adelaide are serious about truck repairs, but not so serious with prices. Check these out. Trailer service from $79. Truck wheel alignment $249. Lube service from $395. Plus you'll find a huge range of parts, accessories and merchandise, even a comfy lounge to wait in. Top mechanical servicing without the top price. Scania Trucks Adelaide. Meet them at Wingfield.
Hello. For 8 hours only this Sunday, National Tiles are slashing every single tile by a massive 25%. Yes, absolutely no exceptions. Between 9 and 5 this Sunday, save a genuine 25% off every National wall and floor tile. Whether you're building or renovating, don't miss the National Tiles Super Sunday sale with every tile reduced by 25%.
It's the Honda sale which tops all others. Nordic Honda's free for all end of financial year sale. Because you get more free extras on vehicles across the dealership, like free roadside assistance, free warranty, free CTP insurance, and free rego. And wait till you see the prices. Score an untoppable deal at Nordic Honda today during their big free for all end of financial year sale. On now, top of Glen Osmond Road.
Another top deal from the top of Glen Osmond Road. Nordic Honda.
Nordic Honda.
They're tops.
$13.95. Adelaide's 5AA. This is Peter Godfrey.
Taking time to listen. Oh, that's not meant to happen. It's all going wrong this morning. So
we're still here, Peter.
Yeah,
I put another 20 cents in the meter. We're still on the end of the line.
I think it's mine that's playing up this end this time, but never mind. Selwyn Manning, editor of EveningReport.nz with us. Let's get on the All Blacks. So you got the Wales team touring at the moment, haven't you? We're about to begin a 3-test series Saturday with the All Blacks.
Very much so.
And all new All Blacks just about too.
Well, there's no actual new players as such that everyone's kind of jumping in on at the moment. There's a little bit of unease in the New Zealand psyche at the moment, Peter, until we see some of the new blood that has been in the All Black camp for some time, but has not been perhaps, the number A team, if you like. So in the midfield area in particular, where Nunu was a significant player, he's retired, of course, at the end of at the Rugby World Cup. So Wales are kind of looking at that to try and exploit the midfield, which will be an interesting test because you've also got at number 10. We've got new players there. With Daniel Carter gone. Remember, Captain Richie McCaw is gone. All this retirement going on. They have pulled in a star winger and fullback plays in those two positions. Aaron Cruden, he was a significant All Black about 18 months ago, but didn't make it to the World Cup. Now he's come back and he's going to be starting at Eden Park on Saturday. So it's unease, but an excitement. The expectation is, of course,
we're just losing you there a bit, Selwyn. Sorry, you were just breaking up a little bit. If you can just maybe.
Hopefully, we hang on.
Okay. Yep. Now you're back. Now you're back again. That's better.
The expectation is that the All Blacks will beat Wales, but. Once again, it's this new team of players that are certainly experienced. It's not like they are, newbies. But Wales, it's got a lot to play for. So it's going to be a fascinating game at Eden Park. And it might be the chance for Aussies who, might think, I've never enjoyed a game between the Wallabies and All Blacks. It's always too stressful. This might be a chance of indifference so you can actually enjoy the game,
Oh, nice way to sell it, Selwyn. Well done.
Nice way. See, I should be in tourism, shouldn't I? Or something, marketing. Something. Yeah. But some of the stats, that are coming out, New Zealand Herald, for example, has put a list of stats, and I won't go through them all. It sounds like
they're very biased towards the All Blacks, though.
It seems to be that way. Even the top of their website is black. You know, so it kind of seems to follow a bit of a theme there. But they're kind of parading around that New Zealand have won their last 26 games in a row against Wales, and the last time they lost against Wales was way back. 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago, in 1953.
1953. That's 60.
1953.
60 odd years ago.
So I mean, and Wales are, they're a significant team. If you look at the Five Nations rugby tournament up in the Northern Hemisphere, is it 6 now? 5. Anyway, Wales is always there. It's not an easy beat. So that's something. And what we've seen in the past, Peter. Another line of trying to attract some AFL people to kind of watch the rugby union. But another thing is quite often when a Wales team tours New Zealand, the All Blacks will try a new style of play.
Okay.
And we saw it back in the early 1990s, where the All Blacks started to bring their fullback up when they had opportunity, like for an extra wing, and it was absolutely dynamite, and that was a guy called Gallagher who ended up going to league in Australia but didn't fire in league. But that was a whole new style in the game. It was like injecting a new player into the back line. And of course, the world caught on to that pretty quickly in world playing countries and matched it. So are we going to see a new style coming out of this? Probably, because we've got some absolutely dynamic people, as the New Zealand Herald would say, that are coming there. But remember that the Wales team is not an easy beat, so it'll be an interesting game.
Indeed.
Put it that way. And that's Saturday night, Eden Park, the best location in the country really for rugby, and the Canterbury people down in the South Island say, get that guy off your radio, Peter, for saying that.
Indeed. One final thing on that, they'll be announcing somebody new to lead the haka as well.
Yes, that's right. That's the actual official site for the All Blacks, which, funnily enough, is allblacks.com. People can kind of have a look there if there's a couple of people that want to. And they've got an article there that they're looking at and building up the mystery who is going to lead this haka on Saturday, considering that Kevin Mialamu's retired, Richie McCaw's gone, Liam Nessam is gone, Puru Wipu was in the past, fantastic. He was a halfback, smaller guy, but fantastic at doing the haka. And so who's going to be leading it now? And that's the big question, and certainly it will be one that's fascinating the Kiwi public, at least, on that answer on Saturday night.
There we go. Well, we'll have to wait and see. All right, Selwyn, many thanks for joining us. Thanks, and you have a great week. Go the All Blacks, and I like your the way you put it, that we can watch it with less stress. I'm not sure if
the marvellous thing of indifference, so it doesn't matter who wins or loses.
Exactly.
Enjoy the game.
Yeah, if the All Blacks win, we can be happy about that, but if they lose, whatever. Not sure if it's... I'll have to find out whether it's broadcast here at all on any of the networks. I guess it will be. We'll have to find out which one. But
I mixed up. Over here it'd be Sky Sport, but I think it's Fox Sport, isn't it?
Fox Sport, yeah, probably is. Might have to look, see when that's on. All right, Selwyn, have a great week. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you again next week.
Take care, Peter.
All the best. Bye-bye. Selwyn Manning, editor of EveningReport.nz, 27 minutes past 5. And Stone next, all the latest 5AA news, sport and weather.
Taking time to listen can make all the difference. Farrell & O'Neill Funerals is a South Australian family company committed to guiding and supporting families at an emotional time. We value a lifetime by offering a compassionate, caring and unique service with attention to the smallest detail. Finding guidance through a difficult time can be comforting. Farrell & O'Neill Funerals, 8296 3134.
John, what's with the fingers in the ears?
Sorry, Gary, I can't hear you. I've got my fingers in my ears.
Oh, it's that horrible sound, isn't it? I'm out of here.
No, thanks. I don't drink beer. Oh, the big cheese. More like the big pain in my...
The Big Cheese. Total rodent control, including sonic systems that only they can hear and sends them packing. Available at Bunnings Warehouse and all good hardware stores.
The Big Cheese. I hate the sound of that.
For business owners, the end of financial year is fast approaching, which means it's time to get things in order. So save yourself